is Professor Theoceratops, and may I introduce you to Digging Deeper Bite Size. Hello and welcome to another episode of Digging Deeper Bite Size. Now today I've got two questions to start off with. Hopefully they'll be helpful. First question is from Cody. Cody at 10:30. Now Cody asks, he says, why can't we live forever? Why didn't God just make it that way? Now Cody, that is a fantastic question. But do you know the interesting thing is, he did. When God made Adam and Eve and placed them in the Garden of Eden, they were perfect. Everything was how it should have been. They would never have died and they would have lived forever. But they chose to sin, just like we do. They chose to reject God. And God punishes sin. That is why everything is the way that it is today. With people deserving punishment and needing to be saved. But do you know, God's plan is actually so good that those who do get saved and get to go to heaven have it even better than Adam and Eve did in the garden. And those people that get saved will never sin again. All because of Jesus. See, it is a very good plan that God has come up with. Cody, I hope that helps answer your question. Now, my next question comes from Chelsea. Chelsea at Saturday EV. Now, Chelsea asks, where did Jesus go after he died in those 3 days? Now, that's a very, very interesting question, Chelsea. But you know what? It's one of those questions where the Bible, it doesn't say, this is what happened to Jesus after he died. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't tell us exactly like that. But it does give us some very, very helpful clues that point us in the right direction. Now we're going to have a look at a couple of these clues and see if we can work out what's going on. Now, Jesus said he said a number of different things, but he said two things while he was on the cross that are very big clues as to what might have happened. Firstly, to one of the criminals on the cross next to him, who started trusting in him just before he died. Jesus said to him, today you will be with me in paradise. Today, not tomorrow, not in 3 years, not in 3 days, today. Then, just before Jesus died, he said, it is finished. Now, when I put these two things together, these two clues, I'll tell you what I think has happened, right? This is what I think's happened. When Jesus was on the cross, God was punishing the whole sin was punishing the sin of the world. He was punishing Jesus for the sin of the world. And that finished as he died. He copped it all on the cross. How horrible must the cross have been for him? But then, after he died, his spirit went to be with God, his Father, and the criminal next to him in paradise. Then, 3 days later, God raised his body back to life. God, he raised his body back to life. His spirit went back into his body, never to die again. Just like what will happen to us. When Jesus comes back, we'll get new bodies. Now that, Chelsea, is what I think happened. But I was just working off clues at that point. So you may need to have a look at those clues and see what you think as well. But I hope that is helpful. Now please, Chelsea, Cody, everyone else, please stay tuned for the rest of the episode. Welcome back to the rest of the episode. Now, today I've decided that we're going to have a look at one of my favourite topics in the Bible. We're going to look at the cross. Now, this is actually my favourite topic because, you know, there are so many different angles that you can look at the cross from. Did you know that when Jesus died on the cross, he didn't only to take away our sins. He did, but he did so much more. That if we made a list of all the things that he did on the cross, it would be such a long and amazing list that we could talk about it for forever. And perhaps we will, but we won't do that right now. It might take a little bit long. But over the next few weeks, we will be looking at a number of different things that Jesus did on the cross. The first one we're going to look at today is one of my personal favourites. Let me tell you, it is good. It is known as substitution. Everybody say substitution. Come on, mums and dads, you say it too. Substitution. Very good. Now, this is the idea that when Jesus died, he swapped places with us. Now, please have a look at this verse. Have a look at that verse. That one. Pause the video. Now, you may recognise this verse from a famous Evie Kids song. God made him who had no sins and makes him for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. What it says is that Jesus swapped places with us because he is perfect and we are not. It would be like this. Imagine if the way to get into heaven was that you had to have this special jacket. It's not. That's not how you get into heaven. But imagine it is. Even though we know it's not. But just pretend it is for a moment. But don't pretend so much that you think it is. It's not. But anyway, pretend like the way to get into heaven is you need this special jacket which is perfectly clean and has no rips or anything like that. It's this amazing jacket. And if you have this jacket on, you can get into heaven. Okay, now, anyone without this jacket, they get thrown into heaven, or if the jacket is not in good condition, they would get thrown into jail. Okay, now, God gives this jacket to everyone to begin with, but unfortunately, we all roll around in the mud like a drove of pigs or something, and we have food fights, and we get our jacket really dirty and ripped and rugged. Now, that dirt and muck is our sin. We might try to wash the jackets, but there's no use. They are too dirty and ripped. There's no coming back. Do you think that we'll get into heaven with those jackets? Good gracious, no. They needed to be clean. But Jesus, he keeps his jacket perfectly clean. Because do you know what? Jesus, he never sins. And so I want you to imagine if Jesus gave you his jacket so that you could get in. That would be amazing. Do you know what? That is exactly what 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 21 says. So that we can become the righteousness of God. Jesus gives us his jacket so we look perfect. But do you know what? He does more than that. You see, when he gives us his jacket, he takes our jacket and puts it on, our dirty jacket. It looks like he has sinned and is all dirty. Because he chooses to wear our jacket, he gets thrown in jail instead of us. Because of us. Now, in reality, Jesus doesn't get thrown into jail. No, it's far worse than that. He dies on the cross and gets punished by God for us. That is substitution. Jesus swaps places with us. Jesus gives us his perfect Jesus jacket and takes our dirty, stinky, filthy, sinful jacket and puts it on himself. How amazing is that? Jesus, he would swap places with us. And do you know what? You can get a Jesus jacket simply by asking for one. Ask him to swap places with you and then keep that Jesus jacket on for the rest of your life. That is trust Jesus to save you for the rest of your life. All because of what he did on the cross. How good is that? And that is only one part of what he did on the cross. There's far more to look at, but I'll save that for coming weeks. Please, don't forget to keep digging deeper into the Bible, even if it is just in bite-sized pieces. I am Professor Theoceratops, and Jesus swaps places with us. Goodbye.